I've always been curious. As a kid, I'd ask questions about why my dog behaved a certain way, or maybe why certain clouds looked different than the others. I was raised in a multi-generational environment, and my grandpa and aunt stirred a lot of my curiosity. My grandpa was a wildlife conservationist and an animal welfare advocate at the Detroit Zoo for many years. He worked primarily with chimps and even got to meet Dr. Jane Goodall. Meanwhile, my aunt was a biology enthusiast who later became a self-taught painter. She was constantly buying science kits for us, and we would be dissecting frogs, sheep eyes, and lobsters in kindergarten or first grade. Not the most typical activity for a first grader, but it gave me such an interest and passion for our natural world. As I got older, I wondered how I could approach my interest through art and design. This lifelong process and curiosity is what led me to interview several artists and scientists. I wondered, what is the relationship between arts and sciences? How are the subjects similar? How are they different? Is it possible to look at our problems in a more holistic way? What kinds of problems can we solve when we combine the two? Can you introduce yourself for me, please?
All right. Hi, everyone. I am Courtney Redding. I am currently faculty at Penn State for the School of Visual Arts and the World Campus. Before that, I've sort of explored the art design worlds, and I practice multiple mediums. I printmake, I do ceramics, I paint, and of course, I design.
My name is Mutanu. I recently just graduated with my master's in biomedical engineering. I did my undergrad in biomedical physics, and I am continuing my education journey.
My name is Rebekah Sweda. I am a contemporary ceramicist and an adjunct professor at Wayne State. I actually wanted to go into engineering, chemical engineering. It didn't happen in the end, but I didn't think that having a career in art was a viable thing. And so many people I knew was just like, no. This is not it. This is not for you. You can't make money doing this. It's not going to be a good career choice. I always loved art. And then I went on a trip to Indonesia with a bunch of other folks who also had interest in art and STEM and trying to bring them together. And I realized in Indonesia just the power that visuals actually do, and how visuals communicate to people. And they have the tradition of having batik patterns in their clothing, and they have a different pattern for every island. It's 27,000 islands, something like that, and every island has a different one. And so that pattern represents who you what island you belong to, which was wow. Immediate, effective, fascinating. I was like, this is, I want to do this now. From that, I went full into ceramics and trying to make patterns and ceramics work together. And I loved it. And then I realized I was like, nope, this is what I want to do. And so I stuck with it and still stuck with it now. So.
I almost feel like one of the trite statements, I always knew I wanted to be an artist, but I always did. There was never anything else. Back in my era, there was this show called Picture Pages, and then you would draw along with it. And then one time my mom saw me sitting underneath the coffee table, drawing under the coffee table. So we lovingly refer to that as my Sistine Chapel piece. She and my dad always just supported it, and I never felt like I had to look because it had already found me.
When it came to deciding my major, I didn't go the ordinary route because I really liked how physics integrated both science and math. And then I'd like to implement everything that I'm learning within engineering and my physics background into medicine.
Art and science have never been that far away from each other. The idea of experimentation, the idea of trying to find new knowledge, for me, I was always really drawn to material science, particularly inorganic chemistry, because it's the study of materials and how they work. Art is just the physical form of that, of my hands and my brain are learning that rather than a microscope or like, you know, doing different experiments on substances is. So it's like very similar, but more tactile. And I've always appreciated that, like, you know, replication of things. Like there's substance in like doing the same thing sort of over and over and over again and sort of finding subtly different results from that. And I've always liked that science does the same thing. Like that's what your chemistry course that you do in school is this has been done a million times now, you get to experience it kind of feeling.
I guess this idea of like wanting more kind of a thing, if that makes any sense. Like scientists, like we want to always like know more, either about like space, the human body, whatever area they study. I think artists also want to either like find new mediums or find new ways to portray the way that they feel. I think that's what connects us both together. This like longing to like know more, this curiosity.
Both are connected through exploration. Like let's say when the digital world came out. Ooh, shiny new object. What can I do with this? How can I push its boundaries? What can I do? Can I take it too far? What's playing safe? I think there's a lot of exploration involved in both. And I know I say this and I'm always like, I know people in my classes are sick of me saying, don't forget to explore and experiment, because we're so fixated on that. It has to be perfect. And I like the ones, honestly, that I'm burning because I'm like, well, at least I learned something from it. No, it didn't work, but this, and this is what I found out from that. So I think from just like an actual structural level, there's similarities because there's that same sort of aspect of digging a little bit deeper into whatever it is you're looking into.
Like the brilliant, STEAM-minded women in this video said before me, I truly believe art and science are not exclusive. There is a relationship between the two. Of course, we may naturally find ourselves liking one a little more than the other, and this introduces the need for a team. One of the scientists I interviewed stated, diversity is key. When we open up solution brainstorming to more than one thought process, we can reconcile the conclusions to find a course of action. And next week, we'll be talking about how the combination of art and science can impact certain issues we currently face while reflecting on the master solutions of the past. Until then, stay inspired, stay curious, and find the wonder in between.